Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Kansas City Royals rebuild, and we have arrived. We've arrived in the postseason. The fight for October has been completed. Now, the rebuild's not officially complete just yet because we're not holding any hardware just yet. Maybe that'll happen in this episode. I have no idea. But as you can see, we are in the ALDS with a bye, not having to play the wild card games, which is super nice because at the end of last episode, in that insane game that we played, and in the simulation afterwards, we were able to hold off the Guardians and win our division. It was a battle for the centuries. We finished with the same exact record as the Cleveland Guardians, but we just so happened to have that whatever record booster or tiebreaker advantage or something. Whatever we needed to have, we had, because we jumped the Guardians, held them off, and won the division for the first time in the series. Our GM goal was to reach the postseason and win a division series in this contract. Well, we checked off one of them. We reached the postseason year number 3, and look at that steady progression. Now, it doesn't show, obviously, what we did this season until the season's officially over, but we went from 65 wins in year number 1. Then in year number 2, we went to 72, and now we have, 95 or 94? 95 wins this year. So we went from 72 to 95. That's amazing progression. We won the division, and we're only getting better. We're only getting better because we've got so many young players. 27-year-old Luis Ariz, 23-year-old Elly De La Cruz, 27-year-old Vinny Pasquantino, 26-year-old Juan Soto. Teoscar's a little bit older. Walter, our Rookie of the Year candidate, is 22. Byron Buxton, he's the rental that we brought in the trade deadline. Salvador Perez is the veteran leader. And then Bobby Witt's 24. So we will have to probably move on from a few people later down the road, like Salvador Perez, Byron Buxton, guys of that nature, Teoscar Hernandez, once they start to reach that peak age where they start to regress. But, I mean, we've got replacements on the bench. We've got money to spend. I mean, look at the budget that we have. We still have $28 million, and we're paying Juan Soto a ton of money. So it's not like we don't have any money. And once Salvador Perez retires and his contract's gone, that's going to free up a ton of money, and we can figure out what to do with Byron Buxton and Pablo Lopez. He missed a lot of the year with an injury, but he came back and pitched okay. Nothing too crazy. And Alex Bregman's just a rental too. Teoscar Hernandez can move. Like, we got a lot of different options we can do later on down the road, but we don't want to focus on later on down the road. We want to focus on the here and the now with this organization. I'm not saying gonna win a championship this season, but we can make some noise. We got a team that can definitely make some noise. Now, if you're not familiar with how playoffs in this series is gonna work, it's gonna work a little bit differently than how the playoffs work in the Mets series or in a Legends series. So in the Legends series, we play the entire postseason in one episode, and we play a Game 7 in the World Series if we need to. And obviously in that series we did need to, and we went on to win it. But in this series, it's going to be a little bit different. I think I did this in the Red Series, but I can't remember. In this series, we're going to focus on division by division. Or series by series, I should say. So this episode, will focus solely on the ALDS. So we'll go in and we'll quick manage games. If we need to jump in and try to save the game or do something like that, we'll focus. It's basically so we can focus more intently on each individual game of the series and focus individually on each series as a whole, instead of just blowing by them with simulations and stuff, just to kind of make it feel more special if we end up getting to the World Series or something like that. So that's how this series is going to work in terms of the postseason. So we will be in the postseason, hopefully, for 3 episodes where we do the ALDS, ALCS World Series, but I don't know. It depends on who we're going to play. We could play the Guardians. If they beat the Rangers in their wild card matchup, it could be a rematch. So that'll be an intense series. But I did leave you guys on a cliffhanger at the end of last episode where we didn't take a look at the stats on the season or the awards. So let's do that right now before we jump into the ALDS. Our stats on the year: Luis Ariz, our leadoff man, he's always super consistent. I mean, he's just been really, really productive. He's just a total on-base guy. That's what he does. He's one of the best hitters in baseball, in real life and in the game. And he just produces like crazy. I mean, he had 320 average, which is better than his season where I'm pretty sure this is the year that he won the batting title. Was it the Silver Slugger or the batting? I don't know. He won one of those when he was in Minnesota the final year, and then he goes to Florida, and then we traded for him, obviously. I'm pretty sure that's how it did. And he had better both seasons with us. He hit better for average in those years. And he's got great OBPs, great slugging, great OPS. He's got a great WAR. I mean, he's just a phenomenal, phenomenal player, and I'm happy to have him in the organization. Ellie De La Cruz struggled a little bit this season, but then once we moved him higher in the order, because we had him around 6 and 5 for most of the season, but then when we moved him higher in the order, he started to finally figure it out a little bit, and I think that's what I'm going to do for next season as well. I'm going to keep him higher in the order, have him hit maybe like 2, 3, something like that next season. Because, I mean, if he's hitting these numbers for a half a year when he was up at the top of the order, then hopefully he can progress on that and hit even better for a full season where he's at the top of the order. Because that's what we need. He's an 85 overall. He's only 23. He's super fast. He's super good, super young. So we need him to produce, and he's got really good numbers as well. Vinny, I mean, just another productive season. Last year, I'm pretty sure he won an award. He won the batting title, or the Silver Slugger, first baseman, something like that. He won a pretty good award last year, and he had even better numbers this year. So Vinny Pasquantino is only getting better, and he's 27 years old, and he's got a lot of value, and he's a really, really good first baseman. I like having him on the organization. And then obviously our big white whale, Juan Soto, the big stud. He was battling for MVP votes the entire year. He was battling for the Hank Aaron. He was going for the Triple Crown. I mean, he was doing everything this season. And I'm hoping that he can continue to live up to the massive contract we signed him to for 7 years. So that's the goal, is for him to live up to that. And maybe he can lead us to a World Series. You never know, but he's got good numbers as well. Teoscar Hernandez didn't really perform the same as what he did in the first season that we brought him in. But, I mean, he had a really good year. He had 27 home runs, 88 RBIs, a 258 average. He didn't necessarily play bad the entire year. But, I mean, he is a guy that, for the production that we're paying him at 9.5, for the value that we are giving him, he needs to probably produce a little bit higher. I mean, produce on the similar lines of what he did in year number 1. Now, that also could be with the additions of other guys like Soto and Pasquantino getting hotter, and all those kind of guys around him maybe are taking away a little bit from him. I don't know, maybe pitchers are pitching him a little bit hotter. I don't know. It could be a multitude of different things, but he kind of slipped a little bit from his year number 1 stats with us. And then obviously we got Walter. I still don't know how to pronounce his last name. That's why, if you're ever curious why I just call him Walter, because I still don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I'm pretty sure he won Rookie of the Year. I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure he won Rookie of the Year, and I'm still on the lookout for my first home run in an actual game with him. I've not hit an actual home run with Walter this entire time he was up in the big leagues this year, or last year. All 20 of these home runs were in simulation, but he had a really good year as a rookie, and I'm expecting him to only get better. I know his potential is only a C, but if he wins Rookie of the Year and he starts to play better, maybe that potential can go up to a B. I don't know. I guess we'll see what his cap limit is in terms of what his overall is going to get to. But for right now, I'm excited to have him on the team. Byron Buxton, we brought him in for a playoff rental, you could say, a 2-year playoff rental, because he's still got a couple years on the contract, and then if we need to move space, we can move him around. And he may not even be here next year. I don't know what the future holds for Byron Buxton, but he was very productive in the games that we played with him. 24 home runs, 72 RBIs. He's getting a little bit older, starting to regress a little bit, but at still a 92 overall? Yeah, at a 92 overall, he's still good for what he can bring. And then we've got Salvador Perez. He still bangs. He's still good. We know how good he can be. And he had his best year since 2021, basically, in terms of home runs, RBIs, average. I mean, he was just killing the baseball this season. That's why he was an all-star starter. That's why he's just been super studly. And we still got him for 2 seasons. Or wait, is it for 3 seasons or for 2 seasons? Or 1 season or 2 seasons? I think it's only 1 more season. Yeah, I think it's only 1 more season. But that's okay, because he could retire. Who knows? And he may even retire after this offseason. I don't know. And then obviously Bobby Witt, we know the troubles that we had in year number 1 with him where he only played in 8 games. But the next 2 seasons, he's been healthy, and I've been super, super happy about it because he's just getting better. He's stealing a lot of bases. He's hitting a lot of home runs. He's getting a lot of RBIs. He's hitting really good average. I mean, look at these numbers. He's just progressing and progressing. That's what you want to see out of your young stud. So he's going to be a cornerstone of this franchise for years to come. Him and Juan Soto, Ellie De La Cruz, and hopefully Walter are the cornerstones, the pillars of this organization for like a championship dynasty. That's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping for. So that is what our starting lineup had, our 1 through 9. And then on the bench, MJ Melendez lost some of his playing time to Juan Soto, to Teoscar Hernandez, to obviously Salvador Perez because he's not catching. But he did play well in the time that he got. He played in 78 games, had 267 at-bats. He did well with the time he was given. Lou Walls started for most of the year, but then got replaced by Byron Buxton. It was solely because we needed an overall boost. It wasn't because he was playing bad. He was having a decent season, but we just needed a boost, and that's what we got with Buxton. Matt McClain had 402 at-bats. That's pretty crazy. He was starting for a good amount of the year, too, I think. I'm pretty sure he was starting for a good amount of the year. But he did good. He hasn't played amazing, and he hasn't really progressed the way that I kind of want him to. But he's done good for now. Zach Veen didn't really play too much, so we don't need to go over his numbers that much. And then Alex Bregman, just a solid veteran bat off the bench, who, if we need to, that basically why we signed Alex Bregman was because I needed a solid bat off the bench in the postseason who I could trust to come in and get a single or get a double or something like that. And that's what I felt Alex Bregman could do. So don't really look at his regular season numbers too much because that wasn't what he was brought in for. I basically brought him in for a bat off the bench that we could trust. Him and MJ Melendez and even Matt McClain to an extent. So that's what our big league club did on the hitting side of things. And then on the pitching side of things, Roki Sasaki is really starting to come into his own as an ace. Although I will say, those final few games in the month of September where he was on the mound, he kind of sold. Roki Sasaki, especially I think he was starting the game last episode that we pitched with. And the game that went into like 15 extra innings or however long we went, 17, I don't even know how long we went, but I'm pretty sure he was he was on the mound at the start of that game, and he kind of struggled. So I do think he's still ace potential, but he's got to figure it out with whatever went wrong. He's got to fix it because I can't be having that in my ace. Speaking of ace potential, Brady Singer had a resurgence of a year, and I know we were talking about in these first 2 seasons, I brought up the point, I just mentioned it, I said, maybe we need to think about replacing Brady Singer. I'm glad we didn't, because Brady Singer had 18 wins and a 3.0 ERA with a 1.17 whip, which is a little bit higher than you would want, but it's still very, very good. He had a really, really good year, and I'm glad we trust him, and we're probably going to pay him this offseason, which is a little bit scary. Ian Anderson, he was a guy, he's just not a high enough overall for simulation, I don't think. That's why he has only 11 wins, 10 losses. I think if he was like an 84, 85, he'd probably have, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 wins instead of 11. But he did okay with the time he was given. And then Andrew Painter was in Cy Young conversations at the beginning of the year, but then super cooled off, really, really cooled off at the end of the year and lost a few more games. But he's young. He's only 21 years old. He's a good prospect, and I see good things in the future for him. And then Pablo Lopez, we know the struggles that we had with him mainly because he was injured. It's not because he pitched poorly or anything like that. He just got injured. He was out for 3-4 months of the season. He missed a lot of action, and he pitched in 21 games. He had an 8-8 record and 3.04 average, or a 3.04 ERA. Our big free agent signing other than Juan Soto, he didn't disappoint me, but I didn't really get to see a ton of him because he got injured for a lot of the year. Asa Lacy was the guy who had to replace Pablo Lopez, and he kind of got shelled. He hasn't really produced, and he's starting to get a little bit older. I don't know what we do with Asa Lacy. I'm going to keep him around, obviously, to see what he can do for the future, but he's got a losing record in his career. He's got a 5.2 ERA in his career. He's just, I don't know. We'll have to figure out what we do with him. Dylan Coleman was a serviceable bullpen arm. I mean, he pitched in 91 games, and he did okay. Kind of got beat up a little bit, but he did all right. And then Josh Stalman, 81 games. He had 5-4 record. He had a save. He had 6 blown saves, though. That's a little bit concerning. I don't know why we were pitching him in save situations, but whatever. 4.4 ERA, a 1.45 WHIP. His WAR was .1. Garrett Crochet we brought in at the deadline as well, and he was a good pitcher. Not in terms of simulation, but when I was playing, I really trusted Garrett Crochet, and I really like him. And he was another guy along with Buxton, who I brought in specifically for a big boost in the lineup or / bullpen for the postseason, mainly. I think I can trust Garrett Crochet. Now, maybe that'll come back to bite me when we actually get into games, but we'll find out. Joe Jimenez was a fine setup man. He was a good relief pitcher. I liked him. He had a pretty good season, too. He's fine. He's fine. Kendall Graveman, I liked. He did pretty well. He had a little bit of a high ERA, and he only blew 1 save, though. Only blew 1 save in the time he was given. And then Camilo Duvall, 42 saves, 4 blown saves. I mean, a 2.98 ERA. He's really becoming a number 1 closer. He's really starting to get up there. I'd probably consider Camilo Duvall on that second level, that second tier of closing pitchers. He's certainly not on the tier of, say, a Manuel Clase, but he could be on that second tier you can consider. And he was an all-star, so I'd say that's pretty good. So those are our stats on the season, and then league leaders will quickly go through. I don't know if we did this or not. I don't think we did, but I will quickly cycle through all this stuff, both on the American League and the National League, so you guys can get a feel for who was in the top of both the American League and National League and all these statistics. If you're curious about who led something, you want to take a deeper look, then you can go obviously pause it. Shohei Ohtani looks like he just dominated. He had, that's right, I forgot about that. He had 50 home runs this season. I mentioned that in one of the videos recently where I saw it on the bottom ticker. Shohei Ohtani had 50 wins, or 50 home runs, not 50 wins, 50 home runs this season. Absolutely mind-boggling numbers from Shohei Ohtani. Crazy. And then the awards, Mike Trout wins the MVP. Soto was battling for it, but he just didn't have the home run and RBI numbers that Trout and Vladdy had. Cy Young goes to Logan Gilbert. He had a 20-4 record. I mean, how do you beat that? Ke'Bryan Haynes wins the batting title. Vinny was right there battling for it. Reliever of the year goes for Tanner Houck. And we do get it. Walter is your rookie of the year. Let's go. That's so big. That is so big to get a rookie of the year. Hank Aaron falls away from Soto. Trout wins it again. Cal Quantrill wins the American League Gold Glove. I'm pretty sure that, I guess not. I was going to say I'm pretty sure that Vinny Pasquantino won an award last year, but it doesn't look like it looking back at the history. Gold Glove catcher goes to Adley Rutschman, no surprise. Ryan Mountcastle, Jonathan Shoop, Ke'Bryan Hayes, David Fletcher, Oswaldo Cabrera, Byron Buxton, but he didn't really do that with us. He did that mostly with the Twins. Hunter Renfroe, and then Silver Slugger DH is Bo Bichette. Perez gets catcher for the 3rd straight year. Love to see that. Vladdy Jr., Marcus Semien, Rafael Devers, Jeremy Pena. Bobby Witt was close, but couldn't get it because of the home run numbers. Mike Trout, Juan Soto, and Kyle Tucker. So we do get a Silver Slugger outfielder. That's nice to see. And then the National League side, obviously, MVP is going to go to Shohei. I mean, that's a phenomenal historical season right there. Walker Buehler gets the Cy Young. I really hope we don't have to end up playing the Padres if we get to the World Series, because they could look pretty scary. Shohei also gets the batting title. Did he get the Triple Crown? He did! Shohei Ohtani won the Triple Crown, and his teammate won the Cy Young. That's absolutely insane. Reliever of the year is Evan Phillips. Pablo Velez for the Pirates gets the Rookie of the Year nod. Then we've got Sandy Alcantara is the pitcher, Gold Glove pitcher, Nick Fortes, Christian Walker, Nico Horner, Nolan Arenado, Ezekiel Tovar, Ian Happ, Victor Robles, and Mitch Haniger. And then Silver Slugger, obviously DH is going to go to Shohei, William Contreras, Pete Alonso, Lee Lin, Munetaka Murakami, Trey Turner, Mookie Betts, Brandon Nimmo, and Michael Harris II. Those are your Silver Sluggers, Gold Gloves, all your awards for the American League and the National League. But it's finally time to start the postseason. I know we're 20 minutes in, but it's finally time to start the postseason. Let's get started. Let's see who we're playing. Are we playing oh my God, we're playing the Cleveland Guardians. It is a rematch of the historical, legendary American League Central battle from this season. and we're playing the Guardians in a 5-game series. All you need to do is win 3. And we got Sasaki taking the mound for game 1 against Aaron Savale. This is massive. We're jumping in. We're quick managing, like I said we would. We're hosting, which is nice because we are the top seed. Sasaki will be on the mound for game 1. I really hope he has a better performance than the last time he was out there. But this is our 1 through 9. It's the same as it has been. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's start out hot. Come on, boys. Okay, they start with a 1-0 lead, but we start with a 3 in our side of the first. You love to see it. Then we go top 2. We get another one in the second. We're starting to build that cushion. Keep an eye on Sasaki's energy as he goes 6 strong, and we get 3 more in the 6th. Let's go, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Huge, and Sasaki goes 7 strong. I'm going to let him go 8. Okay, he allows another run, but now we pitching change. We bring in... Should we? No, we don't need to bring in Camilo. We're going to bring in Garrett Crochet, and we're going to jump in this game and see if we can finish the job in game 1 of the series against the Cleveland Guardians. That's some big chunks of runs getting in each inning there. In the first and in the, what was it, the 6th, we got the extra 3. Ahmad Rosario grounds that to shortstop. Bobby Witt gets the first out of game number 1 here in the top of the 9th. Stephen Kwan, he was a problem last time we played the Guardians, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure he even hit a home run against me. 2-1 count. There's no need to burn Camilo Duvall in game 1 of the ALDS when it's not a necessary situation. So that's kind of why we brought in Garrett Crochet, because he's a good closer, he's a good setup man, he can do it all. But he doesn't get Stephen Kwan to strike out on the slider there. That's a little unfortunate. 3-2 count. I'm going to go circle change, because this, if anything, this could get him to ground out. Ooh, he did ground it, but he grounded foul. All right, let's go with the slider again. I think this could be a strikeout pitch, and it could have been if he just didn't make stupid contact with that. We're going to throw some cheese. Throw some stinky cheese straight up inside, and he gets him tangled up, sends it to right field, and Teoscar makes the second out. Now that's a beautiful situation right there. Now it's J-Ram. What a tough out to get. But he's 0 for 3 today, so he's been struggling. He strikes past that one for strike 2. 1-2 count, 2 down, and he doesn't chase the circle. All right, let's give him a fastball inside. I'm hoping he doesn't get around this one. This could be dangerous. But he doesn't. He swings right past it, and the Royals take game 1 of the ALDS. Our first postseason victory since, what, probably since they won the World Series, right? Did they? Because I don't think they've made it back to the playoffs since they won the World Series. Did they? They might have. I don't remember. But that's a big game 1 victory in the ALDS. Sasaki gets a win. He goes 8 strong innings, 7 Ks, 2 earned runs. Soto had a home run and 3 RBIs. You love to see it. The boys are excited. The boys are excited. Now we go to game number 2. Luis Arraez also had a home run in that game, a 2-run shot. I'll take it. I will take it. Not the guy that I would expect to hit a home run, but whatever. Now we've got McKenzie versus Brady Singer, and it looks like they went with McKenzie in the wild card game instead of Savali. Very interesting. But let's get this done in game number 2. Singer on the mound. Arguably had the better year than Sasaki, so we'll see what he can do. Nothing in the first. We get 1 run in the first, our half of the first. That's good. All right, Brady's doing a decent job getting through the game. There's 2 more in the 5th. You love to see it. Oh, but 4 in the 6th from the Guardians. But we get 2 in the 6th as well, so we bring it back to 5-4, and now we got to start thinking about bullpen arms. We're in the top of the 7th. We're going to bring in Jimenez. Let's bring in Joe Jimenez. He allows nothing. They pull McKenzie, but we get a run anyway, 6-4. We're going to bring in Kendall Graveman. He allows nothing. And now here's where we bring in Camilo Duvall. We jump in this game, and we shut the door to take a 2-0 lead against the Cleveland Guardians. That is what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. Take a 2-0 lead. We got a 92% chance to win this. Shut the door. That's all we got to do. 4, 5, and 6 for Camilo Duvall to face. Kind of an odd time. I mean, it's daytime here in Kansas City as we're playing a playoff game. But whatever. That's strike 3, and Jose Ramirez has struggled in this series so far. He's, what, 0 for 4? Or no, he's 0 for 8, he'd have to be. Tyler Stevenson playing for the Guardians now. I think he's 0 for 8 in the series. So their big money third baseman, their best player, has not come to play here in the ALDS. I don't know what he did in the wild card. Beautiful pitch by Camilo Duvall on Tyler Stevenson. Froze him. And that's strike 3, out number 2. And Josh Rojas with a 1-1 count stands between the Royals and a 2-0 series lead. He grounds it to Arise on to first, and the Royals take 2. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. A big old W for Kansas City. Brady Singer pitched pretty well. He did allow 4 in the 6th, but that's okay. Actually, he didn't even allow. He only allowed 1 earned run. So I guess that's cool. Nice job. And Pasquantino looks like he had a home run as well in that game. Duvall gets a save. And Arise had another home. Luis Arise has gotten on the juice, it seems. I don't know what's going on. Perez also hit a home run. But Luis Arise, that's 2 straight games with a home run. I don't know what's going on with him. Why can't I hit a home run with him in the actual game? But now we go to Cleveland. And if we can take these 2 games, actually all we got to do is take 1 because it's a 5-game series. So all we got to do is take this one with Ian Anderson on the mound, and we will count ourselves into the ALCS for next episode. Quick counts are on. Anderson on the mound. This is where we could struggle. I could see that. We could definitely struggle with Ian Anderson on the mound, but we'll see. We do nothing in the top of the first. They get 1 in the bottom of the second. That's okay. Anderson had to figure it out. We're getting shut down by Eric Lauer. I don't like that. I'm going to pull Anderson here in the bottom of the 6th. Then we're going to bring in Dylan Coleman. Good job from Coleman. I'm going to let him go 7. Okay, that was a good idea. Ooh, we're starting to get a little bit crazy here. I'm going to bring in Crochet. Nothing going, but I'm going to jump in here and try to get this one to the bottom of the 9th because we're getting a little sketch here. It's 1-0. They could shut the door on us if we're not careful, but we're going to warm up Duvall. We're going to warm up Jimenez just in case we got to go bottom half. But it's Luis Arise in a 1-0 game. He's got a 1-2 count. I'm swinging, and that's going to not get over the glove of the second baseman. Okay, 1 down in the inning. Are we going to fall to 2-1 against the guard? Good take by De La Cruz. That was a bad pitch from Eric Lauer. And they still got Eric Lauer in. They're going for a complete game shutout with Lauer. I respect it, but that's dangerous because he's tired, and that is not the guy you want on base in the postseason. In the late stages of this one, De La Cruz, one of the most electric players in all of baseball, is on base. Now, he is going up against a guy who's a lefty, so he does have vision on him. I'm not going to steal this one because I think he's going to, he's going to pitch around Pasquantino. I am going to take this base, or at least attempt to. We'll see what happens here. Oh, that's a hit and run situation if I've ever seen one, and that's going to knock. That's end the inning. That's end of the game. I sold too because I already had sent him to third. Guardians win. That's on me. That one's on me. I saw the hit and run situation. I took it. And Pasquantino did not get it good enough. Hit it to second base, and he caught it. But I already had stolen, and I already had sent De La Cruz to third as well. So, yeah, that's a bad spot. Complete game shutout for Lauer. That's a tough one to be in. That's a tough loss. We just didn't have the bats today. Did not have the bats. Jose Ramirez finally showed up and hit a home run. Ian Anderson didn't pitch bad. It was a 0-1 game. We just didn't have the bats. But now we got Andrew Painter taking on Daniel Espino in Game 4 on the road in Cleveland. Let's see if we can get this one back on. Oh, Byron Buxton was hurt with a left muscle strain during warm-ups. That's not good, but I'm going to skip him. Let's see if we can get back on track here. Andrew Painter's doing good through the first couple. Espino's energy is starting to go a little bit lower. This is a pitcher's duel here. Oh, but 2 in the 6th from the guard. That is not what you want. We're going to go Crochet in the 7th. Not what you want. All right, we're jumping in here. Top of the 9th. Cardinals have already moved on. They beat the Braves. Whoa, they beat the Braves? Okay, whatever. They bring in Emmanuel Clase to shut the door. It is 2-0, and we've got 5, 6, and 7 up. This is a tough spot to be in. If we can, and I ground out to Jose Ramirez to start the inning. If we lose this game, we gotta go back home in Game 5 to try to win it. Not the spot you want to be in against a team as dangerous as the Cleveland Guardians. And Walter pops it up behind home plate. Stevenson will catch it. And we got ourselves 1 out left. And it's Byron Buxton, the guy who has the left muscle strain. The left calf muscle. So who knows how productive he's going to be. He's 0 for 3 tonight, and he fouls off the slider. It's a 1-2 at bat here. Come on, Buxton. Don't swing at that. Good eye, good eye. Clase gets ready. The windup, the delivery. I'm swinging, and that's going to extend the inning. Good job from Buxton. Good job from Buxton there. That's exactly what we needed. Keep the inning alive. Allow for Salvador Perez, who's been hot all season. And he's been doing okay in the ALDS. And he continues his hotness. That's going to be extra bases. That could be 1 unless Valera makes the play. Oh my God, George Valera. George Valera just saved the Guardians postseason with that one. Now, it wasn't going to be a home run, and Perez was probably only going to get to 2, but what a catch from George Valera. He tracked from center field all the way basically into left field. It wasn't even left center. It was left field that he went into. And he makes that play, diving on it, and the Guardians tie this series at 2. Oh, man. Once again, the bats just didn't really show up again. I don't know why we can't hit at the... I don't know why we can't hit it at the Guardians ballpark. We can't hit it Progressive Field, but we come back home. Pablo Lopez is on the mound in this one, but I'm going to change that. Pablo Lopez is not going to be on the mound. We are going to have Brady Singer on the mound for this one. Byron Buxton, he's still listed as day-to-day. I am going to replace him. We're going to have Lou Walls come in and hit and play center field for us. Although... I don't know if I can. We need everybody healthy, or everybody playing, because this is the last game. If we lose this one, our season's over. So we gotta do our best, and that's huge. Why can't we start hitting when we're back at home? I don't understand it. 3 in the bottom of the first, 2 more in the bottom of the third, 2 more in the bottom of the fourth, and Brady Singer is shutting the door on the Guardians season. Oh, but they come back with 3 in the 7th, but we get 1 more in the 8th. That's okay, Brady, because your day is done. We're going to bring in Garrett Crochet, and we are going to bring in, I know it's not necessary, but we're going to bring in Camilo Duvall, and we are going to end this game. That's it. It's over, baby. The day is over. We're going to the ALCS. I didn't see who we were playing because I looked at the National League side, and the Dodgers moved on, so they're playing the Cardinals in the NLCS. But that's out number 1. I don't know what it was where we just could not hit when we were at Progressive Field in Cleveland. I have no idea. The bats were just not alive in those 2 games. But we come back home and instantly we're good. I have no idea, but I'm happy it happened. I wish it wouldn't have been drawn out to Game 5, but hey, it is what it is. 1-2 count to Rosario. Here comes the cutter. That's going to be sent to left field. Soto tracking it. And Juan Soto will make the catch. 2 down in the inning. 1 out remains. 1 out remains. 3-2 count to Steve Kwan. There goes the runner. Strike 3, and the Royals are going to the ALCS. Oh, it's beautiful. You couldn't have written it any better. Actually, you could have. You could have written a sweep. But hey, we did it anyway. And we're making it back to the ALCS for the first... This is definitely for the first time since they won the World Series back in 2016. Or 2015, I mean. But they did it. The Royals have done it. Look at the team we've built, boys. We are a good organization. We are a good organization. Pasquantino had a home run. Soto had 2 doubles. We did it, boys. We did it. We are headed back to the ALCS. All we needed to do was just come back home to Kauffman Stadium, and we're taking on the Astros. So we get that greatness. We get to celebrate, but now we got to play the Astros. It's us and the Astros versus the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and the Dodgers already have a 1-game lead. And you know how good the Dodgers are in simulation here in MLB The Show, whether it's last year or this year, obviously. The Dodgers are super good. Oh, man. Next episode, we take on the Houston Astros, 7-game series. We got Sasaki, then Singer, then Ian Anderson. And then it goes a little bit downhill from there. I mean, Andrew Painter and then Pablo Lopez, but okay. We know what we got to do next episode. We got to come out hot. We got to take those first 2 games at home. And then, or first 2 games at home? Yeah, first 2 games at home. Then we got 3 on the road in Houston. But we definitely got to take both the games at home. And then we have to take at least 1 of the 2, or of the 3 on the road in Houston. We have to have a 3-1 lead or 3-2 lead headed back home. I definitely want that. That's the obvious thing. Well, I mean, the obvious thing is to sweep them in 4 games. But I don't know if that's going to happen, especially with this Astros team. But that's going to be for the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.